Hey, it's Mike over at fishyourassoff.com, and today what we're talking about is red fishing with live shrimp. It's really hard to go wrong with live shrimp, when you want to catch a redfish. Yeah, basically everything in the sea eats shrimp, but redfish adore them, and it's probably your best bet if you want to catch a bunch of redfish. Where you're fishing, and everything else. Flounder, sea trout, black drum, everything else eats them too. But I'm going to show you just the different ways to rig them up and the different techniques on fishing them. So let's just go ahead and let me just show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here's a great way to fish if you want to use a jig. Any jig like this, you get just your basic jig, 1/8 ounce jig, 1/4 ounce jig. I use red, I don't know why, I always have, I guess that's why. And all you're gonna do is you rig it like this, come up under, because you want the hook being up here, because it's gonna be a lot more weedless that way. You're gonna lose a lot less jigs. You're gonna lose jigs because you're bouncing this on the bottom, but you're gonna lose a lot less of them if you have it rigged this way. So your jig's right here, you make sure you come from under and out the back. That's how you want to do this. There's a lot of people that'll pinch off the tail and because they think it puts more scent in the water, and that's another way to do it. But I like the thing kicking around. You pinch off the tail, the thing's dead. I like the thing being able to put out those low frequency vibrations and such that attract redfish. But that's all you do. So your jig comes up through, you're going to pitch it out. That's all you're doing. Just kind of bouncing it / dragging it on the bottom. Maybe it's a mud flat, or maybe it's under a dock, or maybe it's down a line of grass like Spartina grass or something on the side of a tidal creek. You want to do this up current too. You want to pitch up current and work back, because most of the predators are going to be facing into the current, waiting for the current to bring them some food. But that's all you're doing. You pitch it up there and you're just real slow. There's nothing fast, nothing fancy. In fact, I think most people fish them too fast. Just do it. Just slow. Yeah, I think a lot of fishermen's mistake is they actually fish too fast. Another great way to do it, I'm like the Michelangelo of drawing shrimp. Look at that thing. That's horrible. But anyways, that's a shrimp with a hook through its head, but I'm trying to show you to miss the dark spot right there, because that dark spot is their brain. So you want to go in front of the brain. They have a horn. You want to hook right in that horn and miss that dark spot, and there's a split shot, just something to get it down to the bottom. But another great way, I have literally probably caught 1,000 redfish using this right here. It is just so simple and so easy. And again, it's one of those things where you pitch it up current, but this one you just kind of let it go with the current, kind of bouncing it on the bottom as you go, just about the same speed as the current. So however fast the current's going, that's how you want to do it. And again, it's up current, you let the current move it as much as you reeling. And really all you're doing is reeling in the slack as the current bounces it on the bottom for you. Excellent way to do this. That's why you don't want to use too much weight. You just want enough weight to get it to the bottom and then come to you. And this is perfect for tidal creeks or any sort of cut between some oyster bars or mud flats or any of that where you're going to find these redfish. Pitch it up there and just bounce it back with you. Bounce it back with you. Excellent way to catch redfish. And last and certainly not least is the popping cork. God, that shrimp's even worse than that shrimp. But the popping cork, right, is such a great way to catch redfish. And what you're doing with this one, here's your basic one. Makes all this noise. Those are those low frequency sounds that sound like a wounded bait fish or something, kind of twitching in the water. Here's another one where the rattles. are inside. Right? So there's a lot of different styles. This one right here, you know, doesn't make any noise, but when you pop it, because of the concavity, if you notice the top of it's concave, right? When you put it in water, that's where it gets that popping cork sound. So you pop, 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 and all it's doing, you know, you got your shrimp hanging from your leader here. All it does is let the predators in the area be like, hey, what is that noise? And they come over and like, oh, what is that? They're pop, pop, and they see that thing making that noise, and your bait is hopefully dangling right in front of their face, like, oh, hey, there's a shrimp here. This is great. So these things work wonderfully, and there's a lot of different styles. It just depends. Sometimes the redfish are a little more spooky. Okay, so you don't want the noisiest bobber you can find. You know, sometimes they're super spooky. You know, maybe there's been a lot of boat traffic or whatever going around the area, and they're skittish that day. So then, you know, I would have a couple kinds of these popping corks, I guess is my point. So some that are more stealth, and some are just the noisiest things you could find. And the way you want to do it is, so whatever this distance is, I mean, I've never had a leader more than, say, my leaders are usually 18 to say 36 inches tops. And here's the bottom, right? All you want to do is keep it at the bottom, but not on the bottom when it comes to these. Because as you pop, pop, you know, it's just going to make this shrimp just bounce up and down to get the redfish's attention, okay? So you want to have your leader just so you're going to cast it out, and if it's too long, you go, oh, I'm getting snagged on stuff. Well, you know, shorten it a little bit, and then you cast that again. You're like, oh, I'm not getting snagged now. Well, now you know you're within this far of the bottom, which is perfect. You want to be within about a foot of the bottom for best results with this. And what's great about this one too, flounder love it too. This is probably one of the best ways to catch flounder too. So it's not a bad day when you're pitching up, you know, an oyster bar or something like that, and you want to catch a redfish, but you catch a big flounder instead. That's still a pretty good day. But shrimp is probably your best bet for just about everything. And these are the three ways that I actually fish with them, and they work. So I would suggest the same thing, but just remember, the popping cork is there to make noise. So you're going to cast it out there and go pop, pop, you know, retrieve something like this, pop, pop. Or a lot of times if you're casting up current, all you're doing is retrieving the slack. So you cast it up current and say it's just going perfectly right down this little line of oyster bar or some little cut or right along the grass line, something like that. All you're doing is reeling in the slack, pop, pop. Reel in the slack. Yeah, you want to just let it be if it's right the perfect distance. Yeah, that's all you're doing. Just reel in the slack when the current's working for you. That's really it. I just want to cover this one, you know, because I'm telling you, as far as red fishing goes, this setup right here has caught 90% of my redfish, probably 95%. You know, shrimp is just so hard to beat a shrimp. And you can almost always get them in every bait shop. So it's just, why not do that if you want to catch redfish? But that's it for today. So go to our website. It's www.fishyourassoff.com. We have all kinds of how-to videos and articles all about this kind of stuff. That's it for today. So until next time, we'll see you then. All right. Bye-bye.